If you read the headlines this week, you might think the dust is finally settling. The reports point to a slowdown in military strikes, suggesting a rare moment of calm between the United States and Iran. But the conflict hasn't stopped. It has simply relocated from the physical battlefield to the negotiating table. History consistently shows that drafting a lasting peace requires much more time and political capital than exchanging fire. Officially, Washington projects confidence. American leaders are eager to frame the current ceasefire as a sturdy diplomatic achievement and a definitive step toward long-term stability. Yet the narrative coming out of Tehran tells a different story. The public statements from Iranian officials frequently contradict the American messaging, leaving the international community guessing about what exact terms have actually been finalized. These mixed signals exist because the foundation of these talks is built on zero trust. Neither side believes the other will honor their word without physical proof. If these talks fail, the resulting shockwave will hit global markets instantly, turning a regional military crisis into a worldwide financial one. The largest stumbling block in these negotiations comes down to access, specifically the international oversight of Iran's nuclear facilities. Because of the deep historical mistrust we just discussed, verbal promises hold zero weight. The entire process hinges on a rigorous, highly technical procedure known as verification, meaning independent inspectors must physically confirm every operational claim. Looking directly at the satellite imagery of these facilities, you can see the scale of the challenge, a sprawling industrial footprint. When governments issue contradictory statements, the immediate question becomes which specific buildings inspectors are allowed to enter. Without clarity, the verification process breaks down. Behind the scenes, international diplomats are working frantically to clarify these rules of access. They know that a single misunderstanding at one of these sites could easily trigger a devastating military response. In this high-stakes vacuum of trust, the technical minutia of facility inspections serves as the primary load-bearing pillar for the entire peace process. The physical geography of the region provides a second, equally critical point of leverage, centered right here, the Strait of Hormuz. This map illustrates how the waterway acts as a geographic bottleneck, connecting oil-producing nations to the open ocean. A massive portion of total global oil shipments is forced through this single, highly vulnerable corridor every day. Because of that concentrated volume, the Strait acts as a quiet weapon at the negotiating table. Any hint of instability here causes immediate spikes in fuel prices and disrupts global supply chains. With stakes this high, the two primary players cannot be left alone to sort it out. This introduces the absolute necessity of third-party regional mediators. Direct face-to-face talks between Washington and Tehran are hopelessly deadlocked, so neighboring countries have stepped in. They are hosting the delegations and literally carrying messages back and forth across the hallway to bridge the diplomatic gap. Securing these energy routes depends on active, multilateral diplomacy. Even the most powerful navy cannot guarantee oil flow through such a volatile choke point. We are sitting in a highly volatile waiting period. Every delayed press release and minor disagreement is heavily scrutinized by the international community. If a compromised agreement is finalized, it will immediately stabilize global energy markets and create the necessary diplomatic breathing room to reduce broader regional tensions. This map shows the cascading effects of failure. Renewed flashes of conflict will sever international trade routes, shatter economic confidence, and strain security alliances. The line separating these futures is thin. It rests entirely on how one microscopic detail of facility oversight is legally enforced. The modern geopolitical landscape is deeply interconnected. The smallest localized diplomatic failure dictates the financial and physical security of millions, leaving the rest of the world waiting to see if compromise will outlast suspicion.